Alright. Hello. My name is Jenna. I'm jumping over here from TikTok and Clapper. Chaotic Crown Channeling, same name everywhere. I'm going to be reading my blog post, sharing my spiritual awakening and everything that I've experienced over the past couple of years on here. But right now, we're going to talk about sex. Yep, sex. Because those of you who have read my blog or follow me on TikTok or Clapper, you guys already know that I occasionally will mention the fact that I had struggled with sex addiction. And I got a download on that, which now that I think about it makes perfect sense, right? So, Kundalini energy. What is Kundalini energy? Kundalini energy is the so-called serpent that resides in the base of your spine, and when you go through an awakening and you clearing your chakras out, the snake will start to rise up the spine, come into the pineal gland, which causes a crown chakra opening, which leads to enlightenment. But really, you're just getting a buttload of downloads. That's all that's really happening. You're getting a buttload of downloads. So, this is a sexual energy, okay? The initial awakening of the serpent within the spine, first of all, in Christianity, this would be called the anointing of Christ oil. Okay, there's a biological process, and there's a YouTube video here somewhere of somebody who actually broke down the Kundalini rising to the anointing of Christ using biology and the Bible. So they do go together. And no matter what your beliefs are, it's all the same thing, just from a different perception. Now, sexual energy is, we've been conditioned to believe that it is a sinful thing, but it's really not. The thing is that the energy behind sex, when used in a healthy way, in a high frequency, it is a healing energy. It is a manifesting energy, right? And I had developed, through conditioning and trauma, an unhealthy relationship with sex, right? I enjoyed sex, and I got a lot of it, but I was doing it for the wrong reasons with the wrong people. If you hear my kids in the background, I'm sorry. I got 3 of them. But my boyfriend's out there, and I locked that door, so they're not going to come in at least. Anyways, so yeah, sex magic is when you're using sexual energy, Kundalini energy, in order to cast a spell or call in your manifestations. Now, for me personally, the Kundalini energy, when I recognized it for what it was, I realized that it feels like orgasmic in the body, right? Now, at first, when it's starting to do its thing, if you have blocks, it can cause pain. It can also cause a psychosis. So do not try to go and force a Kundalini awakening, because you can fuck your shit up physically and mentally. Don't do that. Let it just happen on its own, okay? It will happen on its own. But it feels like when there's no blocks, when there's no painful blocks like I had, it feels orgasmic. It feels orgasmic. And what I'm realizing in this download that I'm getting is, first of all, I received a memory of my childhood when I can remember feeling the Kundalini energy within my body. And the memory that I got, I want to say in kindergarten. I was in kindergarten or pre-K. Like, this is before elementary school, is the memory that I got. And the reason I know that is because there was a little boy there, and it was like the first day, and I think it was kindergarten. Yeah, it was kindergarten. Because on the first day of kindergarten, I missed my bus when they called me to get on my bus, because me and this little boy in a cowboy hat kept talking. That's one of the earliest memories I have, was talking to that little kid. But I remember that he was sitting in the same circle that I was sitting in when I felt this energy, right? And now, as an adult, I would perceive that energy as the sacral energy that lets you know you're feeling horny, antsy, right? But I realize now, with this download and this memory that came in, that was a Kundalini energy, right? My Kundalini was activated. It was doing shit. And I do have a post on my blog, possibly on TikTok too, or maybe just on TikTok. And I don't know, I don't know where it is. It's everywhere. But I had realized by observing my youngest that the Kundalini energy is very active within her, right? And now I don't see it as a sexual energy, okay? Because it's I separate those two things, right? I separate it when I'm looking at the child. But you know how children have this tendency to do certain movements and things with their body? It's a Kundalini energy because they are still completely in sync with spirit. So up until a certain age, they will be doing certain motions to push that Kundalini energy up their spine. Why? Because it's a natural high, but also because it gives them downloads, right? Young children are very in tune. They are enlightened. Everybody is enlightened. We simply forgot. And a child is able to really tap into that Kundalini energy, right? Up until a certain age. And the only problem is, you know, a 2 or 3 year old isn't able to communicate the way we are. So they have all this knowledge and no way to really share it, and that's why it's really important that we pay attention to our children and listen to our children the best way we can, right? And that we teach them to communicate. Anyways, so the thing with the sex addiction that I was experiencing, it was not an addiction. It was my Kundalini energy going absolutely bonkers. I have had experiences in my life where people would come up to me that I barely even knew, and they would be like, I don't know what it is about you. You're not even my type, but I am so sexually attracted to you. I've had women question their sexuality because they felt attracted to me. I've had people tell me, you enter the room and it's just like crazy sexual energy. And at the time, I didn't understand, you know, I was like, cool, I like sex, I'm down for that, right? So I could just like, I saw it from a really stupid perception because I was going through some shit and I felt unworthy and inadequate, and I was looking for love in the wrong ways and the wrong places. And at that time I was going through a divorce, and I was just, you know, trying to see how far can I go. So I went as far as I could go, right? If I wanted to sleep with somebody, I would see, can I sleep with this person, right? That's just, I don't lie about shit, okay? I don't lie about shit. 2020 was when I had this huge perception shift when it came to sex, and I realized that my body was rejecting people, the energy, right? I was rejecting people who I had slept with before, because I would have like a friend with benefits, right? And all of a sudden I would feel really weird after sleeping with them, and I'd be like, I don't understand where this feeling is coming from, right? And that was because I was coming to a new place within myself where I was no longer feeling like sex is something to just be all willy-nilly freely given away to any single person. All right, and that's because of the energy involved in it, because it is a magical energy, because it is healing, because it is a manifestation energy, right? It's creating, right? We create from the womb, from the sacral space. So if you have a sex addiction, it's probably not an addiction because of you wanting to have sex all the time. Psychologically speaking, yes, that is there because we look for the thrill of things in different types of ways, and sex just happens to release all those good feeling hormones and physical feelings, right? So, yeah. But the reason we feel horny all the time, not psychologically seeing, you know, when you're seeking those specific feelings, it's because of the Kundalini energy within your sacral. That's awakening and going up. And I don't think that, because people always say like, oh, the Kundalini awakening, like it happened then and then and then. I don't think that the Kundalini ever sleeps. Because I have the memory now where I am, and I've had this memory before, I just didn't put 2 and 2 together at the time, right? That my Kundalini energy as a child was active. I have memories coming in of when I was 10 years old, Kundalini energy, I felt it. 12 years old, Kundalini energy. I'm getting a bunch of memories coming in of specific times, right? Just because to show me that in my entire life, my Kundalini energy has been activated and active. It never stopped, right? My entire life, though, I've also had a very open connection to spirit to begin with, right? I was born on the brink of death along with my mom, so that was a whole experience there. So if you're doing shadow work regarding sex, there's a couple things that we have to ask ourselves, right? Why do I want to sleep with a bunch of people? Or why do I want to have sex without a true connection with somebody, right? Why? Why am I opening my energy up like that? Why am I opening my body up to people that I barely know or who are not worthy of me, right? Do I feel worthy of a true connection? Do I feel like my body is a sacred vessel that needs to be treated with respect and dignity, right? Do I feel like I am respecting my body? Am I respecting my energy? Am I respecting my boundaries? Do I really want to be sleeping with people, or am I just looking for a way to feel good about myself? Right? Am I looking for a high without taking drugs? We have to ask all these questions. Why am I doing this? Why do I feel this way? Am I really acknowledging my worth? Am I really taking care of my vessel? Am I really doing what's best for me? Now, everybody's answers are going to be different. But the thing is, we have to be practicing self-love, self-care, acknowledge your worth, setting our boundaries, understanding that energy is the only real currency in the world and that it is everything. It is precious. And we should not give our energy to anything or anyone. And this is a lesson that comes around in cycles too, right? So when you're thinking about sex from the psychological standpoint, and you're trying to figure out why your perception is starting to shift regarding sex. Say you are a very sexually active person, you're single, you got your friend with benefits, you got your random ass booty call, you got somebody you just picked up at a bar, right? Whatever it is you got going on, that's pretty much how my thing was going on there for a couple of years. And then all of a sudden you just feel like it doesn't feel right? It's because you're aligning yourself with a higher frequency where you're acknowledging that energy is important, right? You're acknowledging that there are people who can siphon your energy through sex, right? To serve them. Even if they're not aware of it, right? Even if they're not aware of it. There are people out there who know how to use sexual energy to manifest things for themselves, right? And if you come across one of these people and you do not have the awareness of sexual energy, Kundalini energy, sex magic, and they do, they are able to use their energy and your energy to do whatever it is they want to do, right? And they can use it against you as well. People can drain your energy even after you're not with them anymore. There is so much about that. But the Kundalini energy, that is the energy that makes us feel like we're constantly horny, right? It's the energy that makes your body feel like it's having a weird imploding, exploding orgasm and you don't know where it came from or what it means, and it freaks you out, but at the same time you're like, this is blissful as fuck, right? And I think that at some point that's the experience that we're gonna have like 24/7, right? I think that we all reach a point in our healing process and our spiritual ascension process that we come into that place of just Kundalini energy all day, every day. And the longest episode that I had of it lasted a couple of weeks, but I had a lot of other things going on regarding time travel and work on the astral plane and remote viewing. So like I had all that stuff going on at once, and it caused some physical problems. That's why I say be very careful whenever you're trying to awaken your Kundalini if it's not really ready, because like it's awake, but there's this whole process that has to go through for us to be able to physically and mentally really handle it when it comes, all the way in. And depending on what your spiritual journey is looking like and what your mission is, because a lot of people have come to the realization that the spiritual awakening, it's not just about spiritually awakening to, your truth, right? I'm living a lie. I've been conditioned and manipulated. I'm not my authentic self. I don't know who the fuck I really am either, right? We don't know who the fuck we really are. That's the whole point of waking up, right? It's to figure out, who am I? Who am I really? Who do I really want to be? And then you got to start, setting your boundaries. Letting go of people who are not allowing you to be your authentic self, which at first is going to more than likely be your family. So be prepared for that if you're new to the whole spiritual awakening process. But that's okay. People come and go all the time. And see, sometimes you just got to walk away from people. Right there, I was talking about it. This right here is about, looking at all them empty cups and grieving and mourning because you had to walk away from people. But that's okay, because as you're doing that, your cup is going to be refilled and you are coming into a place of emotional stability, right? You're coming into emotional stability where you can come back into balance with yourself. And it doesn't mean that these people are going to stay away, okay? It's just that you need to take that time for yourself to release any toxic traits, okay? People are not toxic. We have toxic traits. We build toxic walls because of the experience of love causing fear. So we begin to fear love. The thing is, God is love. We are love. At our core, the authentic self of every human being is unconditional love. But we got these toxic traits, so we have to cut ties, right? We got to walk away from certain people who are not allowing us to be our authentic self. I can't believe how this just turned into a whole fucking tarot reading. Wow. All right. Let's see what else we got here. Yep. It's a whole ass story, y'all. It's a whole ass story. Yep. It's a whole story. So, as I was saying, you walk away from people, places, and things. You learn to detach from people, places, and things simply because they are not serving your highest good in these moments. But whenever you detach from them and you come into a place within yourself where you are recognizing, this is who I am, this is what I want, you start to step into your power, and then these people can come back into your life, right? They can come back into your life because they no longer hold power over you, right? And they're not going to like it. They're not going to like the fact that you're not listening to them. They're not going to like that you're doing your own thing. They're not going to like that you are confident and acknowledging your worth and setting boundaries for the first time probably ever. They're not going to like that. In which case, they can just fucking go again. It don't matter. We'll let them go again, right? And this was a whole ass thing. It was a whole ass thing. All right, so Kundalini energy, sex addiction. It's about sex magic. It's about the Kundalini energy within yourself, which is magic, manifestation, downloads, enlightenment, right? And like I said, we already are enlightened. We simply forgot. Pay attention to the kids. So that's that. If you've worked through the psychological aspects of addiction pertaining to sex, if that is something that you struggle with, and you still have that whole, why do I always want to have sex though, right? Even if you have the control where you are not giving in to the desire to always have sexual relations, it's because it's a Kundalini energy, right? What can you do to balance that out a bit? Stay in motion. Release emotions. That's energy in motion, right? Work through any emotions that you have going on so that you can clear the chakras out, so that the energy can actually flow, so that it doesn't stay stagnant in a certain place, because you want it to flow. Meditation, right? You can do chakra meditations, grounding yourself, go out in nature, be barefoot, get in the water. Water is a conduit of energy. It is the direct phone line to source, God, universe, spirit, whatever you want to call it. It will help you receive downloads and messages as you're going through your awakening and coming into the realization that God is within you, and you are able to access all universal knowledge bit by bit as we are able to raise our perception and our awareness and our consciousness. It all goes together. All of it. Spiritual awakening is so much more than tarot cards and crystals and being your authentic self. A spiritual awakening leads us to universal knowledge, which means we set the record straight. We erase the history books. We erase the religious books. We erase the spiritual books, because even those have distortions. Because in the Bible, it says that the one world religion is evil and that people will go to hell for following it. And the one world religion consists of spirituality, religion, and science. Right? So that's biology, psychology, quantum physics, astronomy, astrology, herbology, all things in the Bible. Right? They're all things in the Bible. Splitting the water, Moses split the water. Go do a scientific Google search on what splitting the water is. Right? Go look that up. It's science. The Ark of the Covenant, it flew across the water. right? It was a technology, science. So, it says the New World religion is the evil thing, but in reality, the One World, New World religion is actually all those things combined, because that is what the original Bible was. The original documentation of what Jesus taught is all the books together, which my blog and what other people are working on, when you take them and you look at them, you will see that we are rewriting the Bible as it was meant to be, from our own perception, based our own level of awareness, with biology, psychology, astrology, astronomy, herbology, psychology, religion, and spirituality. It's all together. And Kundalini and sex, it's a part of it. Sex leads to creation, energetically and physically. Oh, fuck off. Collaboration, working together. Love to a cups, right? And then the lovers. I was just saying. Creation. When two people work together, they create, right? Man, this deck is on point today, y'all. Yep. See, Hierophant, this is a spiritual leadership card, but it can also represent marriage, right? Which goes in with this right here. People working together. The divine feminine and masculine working together. Quick changes, quick motion, quick communication. And strength, right? Be strong, be yourself, step into your authenticity so that you can come into this place where you have your divine energies merging within yourself, which will become externalized at some point, which means you will have your soulmate come in. And then y'all can work together to raise the vibration of the earth and have your Kundalini and do your magic sex. Sex magic. Yep, I'm done on this one because I just went and I just threw everything together again. And this is why I usually don't do longer videos, because then spirit kind of takes over and I just go into all these things, which I will do over and over and over again. And I'm going to read the blogs. So there you have it. Your addiction to sex is psychologically seen a thing where you need to work through acknowledging your worth and trying to not seek validation through outside sources. But the feelings, once you work through that and you're like, why am I always horny? You ain't horny. That's your Kundalini energy doing shit so that you can do magic, so that you can manifest, so that you can put out energy, healing energy, which you can do through sex or masturbation, or by simply just being. Because you're magical. Alright, bye.